Hi, and welcome to Murder Monday Live. I hope you're all well. I hope you've all had a nice weekend. I hope you're all nice and bronzed by the sun, as I am. And I hope you all enjoyed the premiere that I put up yesterday. It was so much fun, guys. Tonight isn't so much fun. And the first thing I want to do actually is to speak about this, which I've just honestly a few minutes ago have found out about. And I have to say it's upset me because there's kids involved. And I think it's a very sad world that we live in, that that any human being's life, it appears to be worthless. But when it's children that are targeted, it's just awful, guys. And in this instance, it's something that's happened up north in England in a place called Southport. And apparently there was some sort of dance workshop going on, and somebody decided, well, no, not somebody decided. Children were injured and adults were injured, and two children actually lost their lives. And yeah, it's quite upset me, but I wanted to talk about it because let me see, am I on? No, I am in. I wanted to talk about it because it's awful. And I mean, there's very little that's actually come out about it. It's in the north of England, and apparently a 17-year-old teenage boy has been arrested on suspicion of murder. Um, as you can see on the screen, 9 other children were also left injured, with 6 currently in a critical condition. All the children suffered stab wounds, police revealed at a press conference, with 2 adults who had bravely tried to intervene also in a critical condition. I'm just speechless. I'm just beyond words. But I just wanted to send my sincere condolences to everybody that's involved in this. It's just dreadful. So I just wanted to cover that to begin with. Hey, Bridge. They don't. Well, they do know, actually. They've got a 17-year-old boy. So yeah, they do know, but very little has come out about it. They're not giving out much information. Some of the news channels are running like live feeds, but nothing's really happening now. Um, so they're keeping it a bit quiet. I would suspect, if it's like a 17-year-old boy, um, I don't think it's going to be random. I don't know. Apparently, it was in a house. It was in a residential area, and somebody was doing a dance workshop, a Taylor Swift themed dance workshop. Hey, sweetie, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm a bit down actually after doing this. I've been organising, the live stream for tonight,
Mhm.
what we could talk about, and I found this case that I thought was quite interesting. Um, and then I found out about this, because I try not to watch the news.
Mhm.
Um, and then when I found out about this, I thought, oh God, it's just awful. But as I say, they're not giving out any more information. This is as much as we know. Um,
Because I'm wondering, like, if it was the boy an invite, was he invited to the party, or what is going on?
well, I understood that it was although it says here that it is a Taylor Swift themed dance party, I think it was a workshop. I'm sure I read somewhere that it was a workshop. So,
Mm-hmm.
which would be different, but yeah, it does seem a bit, I don't know, and I think it actually happened inside the property, which looks,
Mm-hmm.
as I say, it was in a residential area, so it looks as if, this boy must have got in there and must have just gone crazy.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's just horrific. So anyway, it looks like everybody is paying more attention to Girl World tonight, but never mind.
I was actually in somebody else's chat, but it didn't have anything to do with Girl World.
Do you know, it doesn't matter. I need to take this off while we're talking. Hang on. It does kind of amaze me that, people are more more involved in Girl World, or some other kind of, how can I put it, manufactured drama
Right.
than in what's actually happening in their
Yes.
world.
Yes. I'm like, because like I was watching earlier all the stuff that going on like with Kybella or whatever her name is,
Yeah.
and Breezy, and I'm just like, they're fighting over like old stuff, but they're putting new stuff. Like it's stupid. It's
It's
just ugh.
it's it's just insane to
Mm-hmm.
me.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. And although, I'm quite happy to talk about it on Drama Friday,
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad that we only have to talk about it once a week. It's it's just it's just so pointless.
mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
like, I've been watching the Olympics today, thoroughly enjoying it. Have you watched any?
I have not. I have not. I haven't watched any of it.
You're not into your sport?
Not really anymore. I just didn't.
Um,
It doesn't interest me.
yeah, yeah, it's funny. I love sports. I love
Yeah.
anything sort of competitive, really. I think
Mhm.
because I grew up very competitive, and I partook in, in many sort of competitive sports
Uh-huh.
activities. Um, that yeah, I guess it's in my blood. It's a bit like music. Do you know what I mean? It's like
Mhm.
it's just in my blood, and I just love the Olympics, and I love any sort of big sporting event. So yeah, bit boring like that. Sorry, Bridge.
All I've seen is like all on Twitter about people being so upset about the opening ceremony of the Olympics.
Oh right. Did you see the Todd Grande video on it?
Yes.
What did you think
Yeah.
about it?
Like, because like everybody was saying that it was supposed to be a reenactment of the Last Supper, but then he's just
Yeah,
like, no, it's not. He was like,
I
it was just on a bridge.
know.
Yeah.
I did leave a comment under it, and
Mhm.
said something like, people will be offended by absolutely anything.
Mhm.
But having said that, as a Christian, if
Mhm.
I'd have watched it and even considered that it was like, mocking Last Supper, then I would have been offended by it. But
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't watch I don't watch opening ceremonies of anything. I just think they're such a waste of time. It's like, just give me the sport. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I did find it quite interesting what he said.
Right. And then also they have what, Snoop Dogg? He's like one of the commentators or something. I'm like, what does Snoop Dogg have to do with sports?
And all the was that actually in the ceremony, or is that
No,
on?
no, he's just there. I think he had one of the torches. He had helped light the Olympic torch. I saw a picture of him holding one of the torches. I don't know.
Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, it amazes me also that you've got, like, even in the ceremony, you had, um, all right, Celine Dion. She's French. All right, fair enough. But then you've got like Lady Gaga. She's not French, so why was she singing at the top of her lungs? It's
Hmm.
like, okay. Can I do lives about Peter? Do you know, I really forgot. what I'm trying to do is when I do a video on him is bring them out as a premiere and then we can all chat. But I've forgotten twice, but I see you, I hear you, and I would definitely try and remember. Next one I do, I try and get one up next week, or later this week. And yeah, because there's quite a few people that have got quite a lot to say about him. But there's nowhere for them to say it other than on my channel. They come over to me and tell me. But, yeah. But thanks anyway. Thanks for coming in. So, right. What we were going to go over tonight. Anyway, how are you, Bridge? Are you okay before I go on?
I am good. I went on to this other guy's live stream or whatever, his panel last night, because he called me out in the chat. It was one of those what are they, red pill guys? It was Tommy
really?
Sotomayor. Yes, because he's on Rumble because he got kicked off of like all the platforms. He got kicked off of YouTube and everything else. So he was over on Rumble, and his thing is he talks about black women. Black women are bitches and all this stuff over and over again. And he was going over some lady. We might want to look into her because she's just drama too. She's married to some white man. And she was just like, yeah, she's dogging him out on the internet because she was mad at him, talking about how he's broke and poor. And he was like, how can this woman do this? And so her husband comes over and like tries to take the phone out of her hand because she was like live streaming it and dogging him out. And so he's trying to like hit it out of her hand. And I'm in the chat like, he does not need to put his hands on her. You know, and so and so the guy who's live streaming, Tommy, that's covering it, and he's just like, oh, what? He don't need to put his hands on her when she's doing all this to him. And then he goes, you must be a black woman. Because like my avatar is not up there. He's like, you must be a black woman saying this. He was like, if you got something to say, you can come on live on panel right now. So I was like,
oh
okay.
My God, really?
Yes.
And you went up.
I went up.
Were you nervous?
At first, a little bit. And so we were arguing a little bit about the whole situation. But he was just like, well, what do you think about her dogging her husband out? And I was like, you know, I said, I think it's ignorant that she's going to go on live stream and do this and try to humiliate her husband. Like, I really think that's ignorant. So after that, like we started getting along and finding like middle ground. So he was like, you know what, you cool. So you can come back on my panel whenever you want to come back.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And this was on Rumble.
It was on Rumble, yes.
Oh, right. Oh my God. Look at you. You go, girl. You say your bit. Because I know you like to say your bit.
Right.
Oh, all right. So do you think you will go over there again?
Yeah, because he messaged me in the private chat because he was on StreamYards and he was like, hit me up and all this other stuff. So I hit him up. I was like, hey, it's me and stuff. And so he's been like corresponding with me. So
yeah, well, that's all right. Get you out of girl world.
Because but he's toxic too. Because I know that he was expecting me to go up because I've seen him on other people's panels with black women and like black women hate him. And so they're arguing with him. They don't want to hear what he has to say. So I knew that that's what he was expecting from me. And I was like, no, I'm just like, no, I'll hear you out, but I'm going to say my piece too. You can talk, but I'm going to say what I have to say too.
Yeah. How many people were in the chat?
It was over 1,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He has a big following.
Oh my God. Oh wow. Let us know how you get on. Let us know if anything else happens.
Yeah. And you know what? I think he was trying to kind of flirt with me too, because he saw who I was. He saw I had my camera on. He started trying to flirt. So that probably had something to do with him getting along with me too. You should have said to him, oh no, I only date white men. Oh my God.
The cat amongst the pigeons, wouldn't it?
Right.
Oh, how funny. Oh, that's brilliant. Right, okay. So the case that we're going to look at is, let me say, well, I don't know if you had a chance to check it out, Bridge.
Hmm.
Hang on one sec. Where am I? I think we're meant to be there, and it's this one. So I don't know a great deal about it, so I thought we'll watch, a video on it and talk about it.
Uh-huh.
But it's this young woman, 16. Now I
Hmm.
think she may have been 15 when she got pregnant, but okay, we won't age shame or anything at the moment.
Hmm.
That's not the point of this. Um, Now, so this 16-year-old girl, 7.5 months pregnant, is murdered in Georgia, and they've arrested the father of the unborn child.
So,
Um, have you
see, I
heard of
see that.
it?
No, but I see that you said you don't want to age shame, but I'm just like, why is this 16-year-old girl with this 20-year-old man?
Yes.
You
Yeah,
know?
I know. And the video I want to show you, there's a few things in there that I was like, I don't
Hmm.
know about this.
Hmm.
So let's put it on. It's from the Law and Crime Network. They haven't struck me yet, so I think they're okay with me playing their videos. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you want to say something, then just jump in.
Hmm.
But there's a few things on here. I'm like, she's 16. So anyway,
Yeah.
here we go. Let's start this.
I feel her hands, and she was already cold. So it's like, man, my baby's gone.
For the first time, we're hearing from the family of Mia Campos, the pregnant teen brutally murdered less than a mile from her home.
When I saw her, I kind of knew that she got killed.
And now, the 16-year-old's ex is charged in both her murder and the murder of her unborn child. Do you believe he is the one who killed your daughter?
Yes, I believe so 100%.
Now, we're hearing about the moment.
Look at this young girl.
Look, I was gonna say because I'm from the name and from the accent from the dad, I'm assuming they're Latino.
I think they're Portuguese. I think
Oh,
I
really?
think he's Portuguese. Is that
Let me
Latino?
I think it's Hispanic. It's closely
Okay.
related, but I'm thinking like I had a cousin who was pregnant at like 15, and her
Oh.
parent let the man, because he was 22,
Oh my
live with
God.
them. Yeah, and I was like upset. I'm like, I'm like, are y'all crazy for letting
Yeah.
this man stay with you guys and stuff like that? And so like I got into an argument with him and my cousins about the situation and stuff. And well, it kind of got physical. It kind of got physical and stuff where the guy like kind of like guy came up on me trying to fight me.
Oh my
Like the man.
God.
Yeah, this happened years ago. And I had called because I was adult at the time, but I called my mom about it and stuff because I was pissed.
Mhm.
And so my mom, she called Child Protective Services. And she was just
Mhm.
like, this man is living with them and he got this 15-year-old girl pregnant, my niece and stuff. And the Child Protective Services, what they said, my mom was like in disbelief. She was just like, "Oh, is this a Latino family?" And my mom was like, "What does that have to do with anything?" And she was like,
Yeah.
"Well, we find this a lot in Latino families."
Oh.
Yeah.
It's interesting you should say that because
Mhm.
I don't know. Listen, I feel bad knocking on, a family that's obviously lost a beautiful daughter.
Mhm.
But there's certain things in this that I was like, no,
Uh-huh.
I
Mhm.
don't know. It just seemed a little bit, I don't know, odd.
Mhm. Yeah.
But anyway, I'm choosing my words carefully because I
Right.
don't want to dog on them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Right.
I
Right.
think you'll see what I mean when we get to those bits.
Mhm.
Moments Mia's family found her body and the alleged killer's reaction.
But he was just standing right there. I didn't see no emotions. I didn't see no anger. I didn't see no crying. And I was like, something's not right here.
Plus, a former Georgia prosecutor's reaction to the case and predictions for the future.
Let's be honest, there are evil people in this world. Sometimes with evil people, that kind of obligation is enough to be a motive for murder.
July 14th started as a normal day for Mia Campos, a 16-year-old girl who lived with her family in Loganville, Georgia.
Look how young she looks there, Bridge.
Mhm. She looked like a little kid, looked like a little girl.
No, I
Mhm.
know. And she looks like that, you know, she's in a toy shop and she's showing like slides. Look what I found, Mum. Jesus. Frightening.
My wife, she spent almost all Sunday with Mia. They went to the mall. They went to eat breakfast. They went to eat, and then I mean they came home like normal, but they spent all day together, and everybody was happy.
That's Edward Campos and Miriam Zarate, Mia's parents. I sat down with them to learn more about their daughter.
Well, her personality was like she was happy all the time. She liked to dance. She likes music. And she went to school for artists, you know, from school for a little bit when he was 4 or 5 grade, you know, but when she grew up, she was more into the music because back in my day, I used to be a DJ. So she was following my step and she played a couple of, you know, here in Atlanta, a couple of times, you know, like a birthday, like an.
I have to say she looks a lot older than her years. In these pictures, but they could be special occasion. I'm just thinking of my grandkids that, you know, when it's a special occasion and they put on the makeup and, you know, so maybe it was, you know, one of those, but beautiful girl. But she does seem, you know, a bit older, but anyway.
Quinceañera, and she was really good. I mean, she was a happy girl. I mean, she didn't have no problem with nobody. So she was a good person. She had a good heart.
Though Mia was only 16 years old, she was already 7 months pregnant.
Well, we found out when she was pregnant. My wife, she was the one, she got pregnant. You know, first, you know, we was kind of upset because, you know, 15 years old, you know, it's like, it's normal. It's not normal for kids, you know, to get pregnant at that age.
Right. So he said it. She was 15 when she got pregnant.
But I was angry. I was upset. But 2 months later, when I see the belly, you know, is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, I just fell in love with my grandson, you know, and I told her, I mean, you know what, Mija, you got our support, like a parents, you got 100% support, you know, from your mom and myself. And it's like, don't worry about it. I say, you don't need anything, nobody, you know, you don't need anything else from nobody. I said, you be good. Everything is good. Everything's going to be fine.
While I think it's nice that they fully support her, I just think, is it supporting or is it just enabling?
Yeah. I mean, but what is a parent supposed to do in that situation? Like, it's already happened. So, like, what are you really supposed to do? What can you do?
Yeah. Hey, Kalari. I'm listening while writing. This made my brain record skip. Had to tab back over to say they are too chill for the fact they're, yes, a 16-year-old is with a 20-year-old. That's what I thought. We've got somebody from
Bia.
Oh, is that Bia?
Yeah.
Hi, Bia. How are you? I hope you're well, darling.
She says she recognizes the accent as Mexican. I thought so.
Oh, right. Okay. So they're not Portuguese then. I don't know where I got that from then. I must have made it up.
Mia grew up quickly when news came that she was pregnant, and her father says she was already planning to name her future son Sebastian. Was she excited to be a mom?
I love the name Sebastian.
She's really excited, you know.
Do you know, I do as well. That was one of the names I'd got written down for Oakley. Because I thought I'm not going to have another child. So I like the name Sebastian.
When I was little, when I was little, I was like, if I have a little boy, I'm going to name it Sebastian. If I have a little girl, I'm going to name it Anastasia.
Oh, right. Names ready. I wonder which girls don't have their names ready. It's funny because the names that I thought of when I was younger, I didn't name any of my kids those names. It's weird because I tell you what, when you've got like pregnancy brain, it's different to when you've got like, normal brain or half a brain with me. But yeah, so I didn't name any of mine the names. I like the name Chelsea. I like the name Amber Jane. I liked. I liked Vincent for a boy. I can't remember. Oh, and there was a time when I liked Clinton or Milton. I liked, but I didn't name any of them that. I don't know what got hold of me. I don't know. It must have been my pregnancy brain. So Bea says, do you know what it is, Bea? When I'm looking on StreamYard, your name isn't coming up. But it is when I look on my phone. I wanted to name them Abby and Alfie. Thank God I didn't have kids. They are quite popular names, aren't they, Bea? Oh dear.
No, she already had clothes for the baby. She went shopping all the time, because before, she went to buy makeup and she goes to run to buy makeup. But after she knew she was pregnant, it's like her life turned around to be a mother, but she was ready. She was real, real happy. I mean, she was already 7 months. She was waiting for her baby.
After a day of shopping with her mom, Mia left her family's home late in the evening of July 14th.
But the thing is, that's when she went out the door, it was around 10:30 at night. Why?
Why would you let I'm sorry, but why would you let your pregnant 16-year-old leave the house at 10:30 at night?
Where was she going?
They didn't know.
Huh.
That's the point. They didn't know where she was going. So I don't understand it. I'm going to skip back because otherwise we miss the bit.
She went out the door. It was around 10:30 at night. Why? I still don't got that picture right. Why she left from our house at that time? And I mean, the only thing I can think that Jesus called Mia to, hey, I meet you here. And because if you can see on the camera, Mia leads to the house like she was happy. She was not upset.
Mia's family shared this ring video with me, the last known video of Mia. It shows her leaving the house and everything seems normal.
Oh, bless her. It's so sad, But I'm sorry, but where were the family's responsibilities here? And I'm not blaming them. I'm not blaming them for what happened, but she's 16, she's pregnant. The dad has actually said, oh, well, I don't know why she left the house. Maybe she was going here or maybe she was doing that. I mean, come on, man.
I mean, did they know that she was leaving? Because I know, like, I've snuck out of the house before as a teenager. But did they actually know?
I think so. That was very neglectful of them as parents. Yeah. My parents were very strict. I used to dislike them, but now I appreciate them. Oh. Let's go back over there. Listen, Bridge, and you're here. He says that he didn't know where she was going. He guessed she may have been going out with him, with the boy, meeting him. But I mean, didn't she say to them, Dad, I'm Mum and Dad, I'm just popping out.
Right.
Yeah.
Mia leads to the house like she was happy. She was not upset.
Mia's family shared this ring video with me, the last known video of Mia. It shows her leaving the house and everything seems normal. So when did you start to realize that something was off, when Mia wasn't coming home?
It was probably around, let's say, 10:45. By
11 o'clock. So she goes out. Oh, I think she went out about 10:30. And then when she hadn't got back by 11, then we got a bit worried. I'm sorry, guys, but yeah, no, I don't like this. I don't know, even before Gen X, my family was not chill with us being out unaccounted for. It was risky sneaking
Mhm.
out. I know. And I've seen, I mean, I'm sure you've heard of cases where, you know, the young girls sneaked out and never
Mhm.
to be seen again.
Right.
So I just think, I mean, I'm not blaming the parents at all, but it just seems very lax. That's
Because
what I'm
I'm
saying.
thinking about my life. Like my mom was very strict, and I think I snuck out of the house one time, and I was lucky to do that. I was lucky to do that. But I would always go over to my best friend's house, who was actually Mexican. And even though her parents were strict and would tell her stuff not to do, we were better able to sneak out of her house than it would be of my house.
I
Because,
see
like,
what you mean. Yeah. So you had a
yeah,
sleepover over there and then
yep, yep,
went from
yep,
there. I mean,
yeah,
that's things that, you know, teens do,
yeah.
isn't it? I mean, I've done things where I've sneaked out as a kid, you know, but
Hmm.
I just feel that even after the event, the dad just seems really, I don't know, almost lackadaisical about it.
Yep.
It's like, and who are we to say? Everyone grieves differently. Um,
But still, like, even with his daughter being pregnant, like, okay, he said he was upset at first. I would, like, if I was him, I would think that he would have tight reins on her. Like, this, you pregnant now, you've already kind of messed up, as for being a teenage mom, so I'm going to have even tighter reins on you. That's what I would think.
yeah. Now, I think there may be, you know, maybe things because of the family dynamics that
Hmm.
have made it like this that we'll learn a bit more about in a second. But yeah, it just seems, I don't know, she had too much freedom.
Hmm.
And anyway, I don't want to give the game away, but let's listen.
11, 15. That's when we started worries like, well, I mean, to go to the country and come back, you're looking maybe not in even 30 minutes. That's when we start calling because I called Mia and she didn't answer. Her mom called Mia, she didn't answer. My son called Mia, she didn't answer. And then we had to call another friend. She was real close with him, and he called her, and still she didn't answer.
Her parents then used an app on Mia's cell phone to track her down.
She's just right here around the corner at my house. So it's like I told my wife, and then I said, you know what, let's go look for it. And as soon as we turned to the street, I mean, I didn't see no cars, and it's like, well, but it's not in on the streets. It's like more farther to the inn. So that's when we start getting inside to look for it. But the thing is, when I went to the left side, and Mia, she was current to the right side, and that's
Right, it's not very clear. I don't think it's very clear the way he's describing it, but from what
Hmm.
I can understand, there was like a wood or something at the end of the road. So they've actually walked into the woods because they're following this signal.
Hmm.
And I think the signal was coming from one side and he went to the other side. I think that's
Hmm.
what he's saying. But I hate to say it, but even when he's talking like this, it's almost like he's recounting, you know, a day at work.
Hmm.
Do you know what I
How
mean?
how long has it been since
I don't
they pregnant her?
know. I don't know.
Mm.
I think it's a fairly recent case
Mhm,
because this was 2 days ago.
mhm,
Um, yeah. So yeah, and they're normally this channel. They keep things up to date.
mhm.
So yeah, let me just see. Kalami says, I just remember sneaking out and getting busted by an uncle. It was not a fun time.
We used to always get busted by my friend's brother, because, like, we would go out and try to sneak out and be with the guys that lived like a couple of houses down, but he was friends with the guys a couple of houses down, and so we would have to always sneak around him, and the guys would try to like get him out of the way so that we could come.
That's annoying. You bribe him or something. I would have tried to bribe him.
It was so much drama, but like looking back, it was like so much fun.
Yeah, it's all part of growing up, isn't it?
Right.
Right. So Bea says the mum looks like she's beaten up. Is that a bruise on her lip or is it a birthmark? I wasn't paying much attention to the mum because she looks defeated to me. She looks defeated. And it could be lighting that's casting shadows on her face. So I don't know. I hate to say it, but you know, when you were saying about the cultural thing, it's, I don't know. I don't want to say it.
Look, keep it PC.
Yeah, keep it PC. Let's carry on.
That's when we found her.
What is your reaction when you see her there in the woods?
Well, what my reaction was when I saw her on the woods, she was laid down, with her back, and when I saw her face, she was twist to the left side, but it was like on the ground. So when I saw her, it's like, Mia, what's wrong? Wake up. And that's when I grabbed her, her head, and I turned around real slow, and I started, doing CPR, but it was too late. She was already passed away.
Isn't that awful? Yeah, they found her. But interestingly, I can't keep a secret. Interestingly, later on in this interview, it comes out that the boy was there with them.
Oh, to look for her?
Yes.
Oh.
And yet, going by this story, didn't he say they realised like half an hour later when she didn't come home that something may have happened. So did they phone him? And he said, "Oh, I'll meet you at the end of the road," or I don't know. I don't know. Let's carry on.
And then I put, fingers on her neck. I didn't see no pulse, and somehow I counted her hurt, and I feel her hands, and she was already cold. So it's like, man, my baby's gone. My first reaction is like, God, I put her in your hands. That was my first reaction because I knew she was already gone. And it was, I can admit, I still got her picture when I found her, and it hurts. It was my baby. It was the last. I got 5, and she was the baby.
Early on, Mia.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about, the family dynamics. She was the youngest, so maybe they afforded her more freedom because the other ones had all grown up well and nothing had happened to them. And do you know what I'm saying?
Because it's usually like the oldest that gets the most strict treatment from the parents, and then the parents get relaxed towards the end.
Yeah.
Mia's father says he knew it was too late to save his unborn grandson. Was there any thought in your mind that potentially the baby was still alive?
When I was trying to help my daughter, my wife, she went beside me, and she was trying to grab her belly to see if we had any movements to the baby, but everything, it was already, she was done. She was already wet because I figured between 10:30 to 11:20, 11:25. So he had a window 30, 40 minutes. And by the time I found her, it was already 12:15. So.
Oh, right. So, okay. So he's saying by the time he found her, it was 12:15. And there was a window in between 10:30 and 11:15 when he must have killed her. And he's found her an hour later. Is that what he's saying? Why did they not call the police?
Maybe they did. Did they not?
I don't know. I don't know.
So you're looking 2 hours between 10:30 to 12:15. I mean, in 2 hours, yeah, I couldn't save her.
Did it go through your mind right away that Mia had been attacked or murdered? Or did you think, oh, maybe there's some sort of medical issue here, that it wasn't foul play?
No, no, because when I saw her, I kind of knew that she got killed. I mean, you can tell right away because Mia, that was nothing wrong with her. I mean, her health, it was 100%. That was nothing wrong with her.
That bit struck me as a bit odd. Okay,
Mhm.
she may not have had any illnesses or diseases or anything, but she was 7.5 months pregnant.
Right. Anything could have happened.
Anything could have happened.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was pregnant with one of mine, getting off the bus, because I didn't drive at the time, getting off the bus to walk down to the prenatal class I was going to, and falling
Mhm.
over, and luckily I landed on my bum. And I remember this couple in front of me turned around and helped me up, and are you okay? Yeah. And I was, obviously upset because I thought, oh my God, if I hurt the baby.
Right.
And I went for a scan and everything just to check everything was all
Mhm.
right. Things
Mhm.
happen.
Yep.
So that just struck me as a bit odd that he
Mhm.
said, well, there's nothing wrong with her, so obviously she must have been murdered. And I was like, well, you don't know, she was pregnant. She was heavily pregnant. She
Right.
tripped over something or
Right. Just like because your story reminds me, like in college, one of my friends got pregnant, and she was on campus, and she was pretty far along, and she was walking by like this construction area on campus, and I think one of the beams came down and kind of hit her on the head. They
oh no.
they saw that she was pregnant, and they rushed her to the hospital, and they
Yeah.
were like, and she was kind of upset because like they were going in her purse trying to get her ID and insurance card, and so she's like, wait a minute, what are you doing? But they were just like rushing to help her because
Yeah.
she was so far along.
Yeah. That's
Hmm.
the thing. I mean, and that was the same for me. I mean, it was kind of ironic that I fell over in the hospital grounds, but yeah, I mean, when you're pregnant, that's the first thing you think of is the child. So
Right.
I don't know, it just seems a bit weird to me that he hasn't even considered the child or the fact that the girl may have fallen over, or I don't
Hmm.
know, anything could have happened. Maybe she was going into um
Premature
early,
labor. Yeah.
yeah, what's the
Hmm.
word? Early labor or
Hmm.
something. Maybe she was miscarrying or something.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, I don't know. I hate to say it, but he just seems a bit blasé.
Okay.
While we're doing this, Bridge, because I know you like to
Mhm.
Google, can you check it? Can you Google her and see when it happened?
Let's see.
And I'll play the video.
So when I saw her, it's like, man, they killed my baby.
The investigation quickly pointed in the direction of 17-year-old Jesus Monroy, the father of Mia's child. Did you ever meet him and talk with him?
Yes, when I found out when Mia, she was pregnant, we had to go and talk to the parents. They say, hey, pues, what are you going to do now since, my daughter's pregnant, because your son. And they said, well, according to his father, say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and take care of everything. You don't.
Oh, right. So it was recently. I thought it was a recent one because I hadn't seen it before,
Hmm.
and I'm quite up on my
Yep.
true crime. So yeah. I mean, I don't know. He just seems. I don't know.
Hmm.
Maybe it's just me. Maybe because I'm such a blooming emotional wreck, I just expect everybody else to be. I don't know. So anyway, he just
I'm
said that
even
he
thinking
went.
too.
Go on.
Hold on. Oh, I was going to say, I was thinking too, because there was a case a long time ago, years ago, about this football player that this woman, he got this woman pregnant, and he wanted her to get rid of the baby, but she didn't do it. So he went and put a hit out on her. And
Yeah.
so basically she actually died, and she was pregnant, and they still saved the baby.
That's
So
yeah.
yeah.
I was going to say that. Do you know how long? Like if the mother's killed, how long before the baby, the unborn child, stays alive for. Do you know that?
Have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was asphyxiation, so there would have been no harm to the baby.
Right. Right.
So if you want to Google that, you can. But if you don't worry. I don't. Oh, Kalari doesn't know either. I mean, you do hear of instances where the mother's injured, don't you? And the child survives.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean,
It
at 7.5
says,
months, it could have survived. Although 7 months is a bit of a dodgy time for babies, premature babies. But
well,
yeah,
it says the time varies. So it can be days. They're basically
Mm,
saying. I don't
yeah.
know.
And also that brings me back to the question: why did they not contact the police?
Right.
If they had the time to contact the son and to contact their son and their friend and the boyfriend, why did they not phone the police as well? Because the police could have saved that baby.
Right. Right.
So Bea says, I think people grieve differently. Maybe he cried after the interview. Also, in the Mexican culture, men look weak if they cry in front of others.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So yeah, he might be trying to be strong in front of everybody because you see the wife, she's not even talking. So
No.
he's probably like the strong one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would have called the police first.
Don't have to worry about it. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of the doctor's bills. But it was just only on the beginning. After a while, I didn't talk to them. They didn't even come to the house to say, "Hey, how's Mia doing?" He never comes around. So for me, they didn't have no relationship at all.
Monroe
Right. So is he just talking about the parents or is he talking about the boyfriend?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back over that again because he starts talking about the parents, but then he said he never came around.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it could be a cultural thing where the father's expected to come and visit to see how the girl is. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
was arrested in the days after Mia's murder and charged with providing false statements to police about the case. Finally, more than a week after Mia's death, Monroy was charged in her murder. What was your reaction when Jesus was eventually charged with her murder?
I was in shock. I couldn't believe it because supposedly he was the one he's going to take care of my daughter and my grandson.
see, again, he's not talking of any kind of relationship with this girl. He's not saying, my daughter idolized him. They were in love. They were a lovely, they were a beautiful
Right.
couple. And he's not talking about that. To him, it's all about the grandchild.
Mm-hmm.
And that, to me, I don't know. It sounds a bit weird to me. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, my mind goes off.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it just seems a bit. He seems more preoccupied about the child than he does the daughter. And yeah, I don't know.
I was in shock. Like my wife, she was in shock too because we opened the doors, for him because I had a lot of respect for my daughter. That was her wish for him to be part of it, of the baby, And I told him,
Again, it's the baby. Do you see what I mean? So he said he's opened the door to let him in because he wanted to be part of the baby. Well, what about the relationship? What about the relationship between this 20-year-old man and their 16-year-old daughter? What was going on there?
I told Mia so many times, Mia, just walk away. Walk away. I said, you don't need anybody. But that was her wish.
So it looks like they weren't really together. He was just basically there just to take care of the kid.
Yeah, red flags
Uh-huh.
everywhere. Absolutely. Because by him saying that, Mia's obviously shown that she wasn't happy with him.
hmm
So her
hmm
dad said, well, just walk away from him. We'll help bring
Right.
up the child.
hmm
You know, and she was young. So, but I respect that for my daughter.
To understand the charges and what led up to them, I reached out to Georgia-based former federal prosecutor Francie Hakes. He was arrested and charged with lying to police, but the murder charge didn't come until days later. What do you suspect happened during that time?
Well, I have a feeling there was cell phone evidence and or forensic evidence. So we know that her family was able to track her after she went missing by finding her phone, by locating her phone. And that's when they discovered her body. My guess is that almost immediately police started pinging the towers, the cell towers that her phone would have been pinging off of, to see, while her phone was pinging on that tower, who else's cell phone was in the same vicinity at the same time period that they probably have already established that she was murdered in. And so I assume that it was only a few days it took them to probably get that cell phone data. And immediately he became a suspect. I suspect they tracked his phone. And that may very well be the evidence that put him at the scene. But there could have been other evidence besides that. Who knows what was on her phone? You know, Laken Riley was able to call 911, although nothing ended up being reported. But you have to think, this day and age, if someone's in danger, they may very well have been able to record something on their phone or call out and record to 911. So we don't know what sort of evidence there might be of that. But I have a feeling it was, given the speed with which they did it, it wouldn't have been something like DNA. I have a feeling it had to do with cell phone tracking data.
Let's see that birthday cake. It said 15 on it.
Hmm.
How sad.
Monroy now faces charges of malice murder, felony murder, feticide, and aggravated assault. Now, some of the charges he faces are malice murder and felony murder. Can you explain the difference there, or why he may be charged with both?
Yeah, in Georgia, those are just alternative counts. They really carry the exact same penalty.
Right, we don't need to listen to all that. There was something else, and they just keep showing the same pictures, don't they? There's something else where the dad speaks about that the boy was actually there when they found her, which I thought was odd.
hmm
Right, let's see.
The reports are that she was lured away from her home, which to me sounds like definite premeditation. So not just instantaneous, but it sounds a little more planned out. What do you make of that?
Well, unfortunately, it would not shock me if that was the case. If this offender, if it is her ex-boyfriend, I know he's just the suspect, so it's just an allegation at this point, but if her ex-boyfriend, and I understand from the family that he was the father of the child, if that is the case, it is unfortunately not shocking that he might have premeditatedly planned a murder simply because she was pregnant. And in Georgia, as in every state in this country, he would have been required to take care of that child and pay child support for the child, for most of the child's life anyway, at least until the child turned 18.
But the father's already said that they'd agreed to do that. I want to find out more about their relationship
hmm
because nothing's really, they're just playing the same pictures all the time. Oh, there's the father again. Right, let's go on to this bit.
I don't think he was ready for it because that's what he showed me. You know, some kids, like, they're happy. Well, I'm gonna be a father. It's gonna be my first baby. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Not him. He was just cold all the time.
Do you have any idea why he would have killed her?
No, not really. And that's the question that I want to ask. And matter of fact, we went to the court yesterday morning, but I mean, he doesn't have court yet until probably the 14th or the 16th August. So I gotta wait into then. And I put a request that I like to talk to him, at least to say why. But I don't think I'll be able to talk to him at all.
Right now, he's just accused of the crime, has not been convicted as of yet. But do you believe he is the one who killed your daughter?
Yes, yes, I believe. I believe so 100% because everything it was so weird. Everything happened so fast that I mean, who could have done it? You know, who could have done it? Because Mia, she doesn't have no enemies. She was a sweet girl.
Right now, and for the foreseeable future, Monroy is being held at Gwinnett County Jail. Right now, he's being held without bond. Do you think that's appropriate, that there's no way for him to be released, at least at this time?
It is. I'm kind of an old-fashioned prosecutor. I think that when you're charged with something that serious and where potentially there's even evidence of more premeditation than just in an instant, that is, he lured her out of the house, that makes him dangerous. And
There was a bit, and I didn't show it on there. It didn't show on there, but there was a bit where he explained that the problem is because of his accent, it's difficult to understand exactly what he's saying. But I know there was a bit that he said that the girl that the boy actually came with him, and I just want to find that bit. Hang on, I'm going to just check. See if there's another one on that one about her. That'd be videos, wouldn't it? Right, let's see. Because that was an update one. So let's see if they've got the that was 2 days ago. So where's the other one where they're talking about her? Then we may get a clearer picture of it. Just, I don't know, it just seems so disjointed, and I don't know whether it's because of, you know, the way he speaks. Oh, here we go. Come on.
A pregnant Georgia teenager goes missing and is tracked down by her family using her cell phone location. But unfortunately, she isn't found alive. And police now have somebody in custody, but not the way you may think. We're breaking down this case with Georgia criminal defense attorney Lauren Zimmerman. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
Do you follow this channel, Bridge?
Occasionally, I'll watch them.
Yeah, I like it. Right, so here it says authorities have arrested her ex-boyfriend for lying to police, but have not yet charged him with murder. Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh, I just think it's sad. It's a sad story because she was such a young girl with a whole blooming life ahead of her.
Police in Loganville, Georgia, which is about 30 miles east of Atlanta, are investigating the death of a pregnant 16-year-old girl. This after her family discovered her body in a wooded area in Gwinnett County. The teen was reportedly 7 months pregnant. This is according to her family, which they told Univision Atlanta. Mia Campos' family says the teen left home sometime the night of July 14th with someone, but never returned home. They say they tracked her cell phone in the hopes of finding her. And according to a news release from Gwinnett Police at around 1 a.m. on July 15th, her family called 911, saying they had discovered Mia's body by tracking her phone location through a phone app.
Right. So that means, okay, he said that they found the body nearly 2 hours later. So they didn't phone the police for 2 hours.
Well, they didn't start worrying until about 11 something because she left the house at 10:40, and then when she wasn't back at like 11:15 or so, that's when they started worrying.
Yeah, but they still didn't phone the police even when they were worried. Do you know what? I think it was interesting. There's one bit that's sticking in my head. When he said, when he realized that she'd, you know, been murdered, he said they killed her.
Like,
Did
who
you
is
hear
they?
that bit?
I didn't hear it. I don't remember, but like, who is they? Who is he referring to?
I know, but he did. He said they killed her. Let's see. I'm not going to go and find it again, but I'm telling you, look back on this video and you'll hear it. Because even then I was like, I watch too much true crime, I'm telling you. On so
Because
many.
like you're talking about how it was still like an hour, they still didn't look for, call police or whatever. I don't really think that you probably would, because like again, I'm thinking back to my high school like experience, and I had a friend who her mother was strict as well, Black girl, and she went to the fair with her friends or something like that, and she was late getting home, and the mom went to the fair to go find her. Like, she didn't call the police, but no, you bringing your ass home.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I can understand that. Yeah, I think Bea, this makes sense. It's because in the Mexican culture, if you get pregnant, you have to get married with the man who impregnated you. If not, you'll be considered an easy woman with no morals. But the father wasn't giving that impression, though, was he? He was like, "Oh, don't worry about it, love, and leave him if you don't want to be with him." Some dudes really get an initial high at being a dad, then it hits them, the responsibility, and they panic. Yeah.
Bea says, I bet she was embarrassed about my story with the girl. Oh, she was so embarrassed. My other friend told me about it because she was with her, and she was like embarrassment. She was like, her mom came up. She still had the curlers in her hair, the rollers, the curlers in her hair, and she had like a robe on. She said it was totally embarrassing.
Oh no! Oh no! But Bea said, if I had a kid, I would put my daughter the chip inside of her arm so she couldn't get pregnant. But I would also talk to her about STDs and stuff. Yeah, kids know all about it. Don't worry about it. They do know about it these days. But it doesn't stop some of them, unfortunately.
Yeah, because they don't think it's going to happen to them, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Initially at the scene, investigators were unable to determine how Mia died, but after an autopsy the next day, her death was ruled a homicide. However, investigators have not released her exact cause of death, so there's a difference between manner of death and cause of death. The following day, July 17th, police arrest 20-year-old Jesus Monroy, who they describe as Mia's ex-boyfriend, and charged him with providing false statements to a police officer during the investigation into Mia's slaying. But
right now, because we've watched the follow-up before this one, in the follow-up, they said that she was asphyxiated. And that woman, when the two women are on there, they talk about how, quite often in crimes of passion, that's when the person can get strangled, and they were going into detail about it can take a long time to to strangle somebody, so it has to be in the real sort of throes of passion, if you like, or hatred or whatever. So yeah, and would that
right
boy
here,
have been strong enough to do that? I don't know. My mind's going all over the place, Bridge. I'm telling you.
But then also they just said that he was the ex.
Yes.
Ex-boyfriend.
That, again, that's interesting. Oh, we've got to keep an eye on this story for sure.
there is no word on any further charges directly related to Mia's death. In other words, he is not charged with murder or manslaughter or anything like that as of yet. Now, officials have not said if Monroy is the father of Mia's baby, though Mia's family confirmed to local media that he is. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution reports the baby was going to be named Sebastian. A motive in this killing remains under investigation, as well as trying to understand who exactly did this. Authorities told local CBS Atlanta affiliate WANF that Monroy is actually not the only suspect that investigators are looking into.
Oh, my heckles are up, Bridge. My heckles are up. I think there's more to this than,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
maybe it was a family feud. Maybe it was dare I say, an honor killing. I don't know. Because when you looked at those parents, that mother was completely drained. It was like everything has been ripped from her. Whereas the dad was sat there talking as if he's talking, about his day at work.
Like, I wouldn't say an honor killing, especially with the cultural aspect of it. Because, like, I went to a predominantly Mexican high school. And I will tell you that, like, graduation day, either at least half of the girls had were either pregnant or had already had a kid.
Oh,
Like,
maybe that doesn't happen in their culture then. All right.
Yeah, like it was. Yeah, it was like I was part of the minority of girls that did not have a kid.
Oh, I'm not used to that. I'm just thinking of like more sort of Asian cultures.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that's interesting, though. Definitely going to keep an eye on this to see, to see if it's as clear cut as they're saying. There's already slight differences in the stories, but then that could be because they hadn't got the full story when he first did this particular episode. But well, we've got to keep an eye on it.
The Campos family has also started a GoFundMe page to raise money for expenses, and her mother, identified as Miriam on the GoFundMe listing, writes, quote, "Mia, my daughter, the girl of my eyes, my baby, has passed away with her son in her belly. I ask God to watch over her and her baby. Now she and my grandson are in heaven with God. With all my heart, I ask you for help to give her and her baby a dignified burial. Thanks. May God take care of you and bless you and your entire family." A service was held a week after the discovery of Mia's remains on July 22nd to lay the 16-year-old to rest. All right, so joining me right now to talk about this is criminal defense attorney Lawrence Zimmerman, who's out in Georgia. Lawrence, thanks so much for coming on. Really, really chilling case. Tough to talk about this one. Are you surprised, though, that Mr. Monroy has not been charged with Mia's death at this point, only with falsifying statements?
Well, I mean, listen, obviously it's pretty significant, case. There's a death, but the police are going to do their investigations. They can make sure they make the right arrest, right? That's what you want.
Right. So we've already discovered that he has been charged, hasn't he? Didn't they say in the other? Only I could do things arse upwards. But I think they said that he was charged, didn't they? In the one that we saw.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
okay.
This is the one that we saw, right?
Kids or dads have claimed something happened to their kids. Susan.
The family of Mia Campos, the pregnant teen brutally murdered less than a mile from her home.
When I saw her, I kind of knew that she got killed.
And now the 16-year-old's ex is charged in both her murder and the murder of her unborn child. Do you believe he is the one who killed your daughter?
Yeah. So they have charged him now. But what I want to do, I'm just going to go over this bit again, because that bit where he says, I just think it seems a bit odd when he's saying about, I don't know, I just feel that he keeps it quiet and you have to like really hear it to what he's actually saying. Because he was saying she left the house quite happy, but he didn't say she left the house quite happy with so-and-so. Do you know what I mean? It just seems, I don't know, it just seems really odd. So anyway, the bottom line is they are charging him. So I won't play it again because I think we've gone over it enough. So it's going to be quite interesting to find out what actually happens there and whether it was him. So at first they just charged him with lying.
Mhm.
And then they've charged it. Now they've charged him with the actual murder. So we'll have to see.
Looking at the article right now, it says malice murder, felony murder, feticide, and aggravated assault.
Yeah,
With.
that's weird. Why aggravated assault when she's killed?
Who know? I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
my chemistry teacher told me he was proud of me for being the only Mexican girl who didn't get pregnant during the summer. Oh dear.
I swear everybody was pregnant in my high school. Like some people would hide it, and then others it was just out there. But yeah.
Wow, what are they loose, these Mexican girls? What's wrong with them?
No, because at least in my town that I went to high school in, it was a very small town and there wasn't really much to do. And I used to always joke, you're either screwing, you're either drinking or you're doing drugs.
Oh God. Jeez. Right, I'm just looking to see if there's anything else, if there's anything new about it. And it doesn't look like it. Right, what's that one? Right, officials say at around 1 o'clock, officers responded to the 3600 block of Stevens Road in Loganville after the family of 16-year-old Mia Campos called 911. So they didn't call 911 for at least 2 hours. I'm telling you, there's something off here. The family told officers that Campos had left the house on Sunday night with an unknown person and never returned home. What? That's not what he said on video.
Right.
Her family used a cell phone app to track her to the wooded area. There they found her body. I mean, that's not what they said. Right, Maya's parents say Monroe had been with them for the past 2 days. Family members say they still have a lot of questions surrounding the death. Edward Campos and his wife, Miriam, remember their 16-year-old daughter, Mia Campos, at the site where she was found dead. Right, I knew something was wrong. Oh, right. So he said here, right, face down, it was hard. I knew something was wrong, her lips and her nose. They murdered my baby. Now, this is what's written on, where is it? And I've Googled it, Fox 5, Atlanta. Somehow we came this way, and because I didn't have a flashlight, I just had my phone. Then I said, she's right there. It just broke my heart. Thank God that I killed her. Oh God, sorry. Thank God that I found her, Campos said. He came with it. Mia was 7 months pregnant. We keep praying every night, and that's why he came with his parents. That's why I was shocked when they sent me the notice. I was like, wow, Campos says. I think that's when he's found out that the boy has been arrested. But once again, there's nothing here saying that the boy went with them. I don't know. It just seems a bit weird to me, guys. So for those of you that are watching it on the replay, if you've got any ideas about this, then put it down in the comments. Bridge has fallen asleep. Can't blame her.
I'm still here.
But Yeah, I just think it's quite an intriguing case, and I think I'm definitely going to keep an eye open
Mhm.
for it and see what happens. Oh God, we live in such a shit world, don't we, Bridge?
Yep.
Horrible. Anyway, thanks for coming up, my darling. Always lovely to have you up here, and
Mhm.
see you again Wednesday. I've
I
got
think
something really light planned for
uh,
Wednesday. I thought we could look at videos of people that maybe live in tiny homes or people that live in like different places. And 'cause I just thought it'd be something completely different and, light-hearted,
yeah.
light-hearted.
I
Um,
think we need to look. I think we need to look into this drama with that. What I told you about earlier about with that black lady with her white husband and how she was exposing him on the internet. Because I see it came up in my recommendations that somebody else is talking about them too.
should
I
we do
think
that
that
on
might be
Friday?
interesting. Yeah, I think that might be interesting.
All
It's
right,
called
send
Queen.
me
Yeah, it's called Queen of Kings.
Queen of Kings. Okay.
Yeah, but
All right.
KWEEN.
All right. Is she a drag queen?
No, no, I
Like
guess she's the queen. She's the queen and he's the king. And he's broke
right.
though, according to her. Even though she said that he paid for everything because they were showing off their Range Rover and they got a new condo. And she said that he paid for it all. But then when she was dragging him on the internet, she said that when she found him, he was sleeping on a mattress on the floor and he didn't have any money and she paid for everything. So I think there's some drama in there. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's do that on Drama Friday.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Mhm.
All right then, honey. I look forward to that. But we'll
All
do
right.
Wednesday as long as I'm feeling all right. We'll do Wednesday. Do a light-hearted one on Wednesday. Thanks for coming, Bridge.
All right. Thank you.
And thanks to everybody in the chat and to the lurkers and those of you that came away from Girl World for 5 minutes or an hour. It's always lovely to see you. So you take good care of yourselves out there. See you on Wednesday for Wellness Wednesday. So in the meantime, you take care of yourselves because trust me, it's a rotten old world. Bye bye for now.